What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconator Zone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to, I want to say silly season, but actually the transfer season hasn't even kicked off yet. And we had one of the weirdest twists you will ever see with Felipe Anderson. It was weird because up to the news broke that he is joining Flamingo, I think it was, is it? Or Fluminense, one of the two. I even forgot right now. Um, like an hour before that, Romano was tweeting final details missing, and he made a statement on his Instagram account saying, "I'm leaving Lazio at the end of the season. I have no agreement with Lazio." And Romano and every journalist was like, "Yeah, it's a matter of details with Juve. Tutto Sport, front page ready to go to the printer. Probably printed 1,000 of copies already." And then, boom, they announce he's going back to Brazil, and that was that was hilarious and weird, confusing on so many levels. But that's what we're going to talk about, and just in general, that actually this is proof that we can talk about transfers and all those things, and we should, because they're not going to get everything wrong, these journalists. But this also shows that even how certain they can be and say it's happening in this, you can see how this changes. And this reminded me of Draxler. I don't know if people remember that, but I remember Romeo tweeting, "It's done. Draxler is coming to Juve. It's sealed." And then 1 hour later, he's like, "Yeah, it's not happening." Like he's going PSG. Changed his mind in 1 hour time. Is it true? Did that happen in 1 hour's time? Who knows? But that's what we're going to talk about. Before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. We hit 5K. So thanks everybody for that as well. But now let's push to 6K. But yeah, let's get into the weird news. Okay, so it is Giuntoli's first season at the club, and maybe again, I don't think nobody actually has any clue what's going on. I will talk about Felipe Anderson, but Giuntoli is new. Everybody who's at the club right now is gone. Maybe Manna is leaking things to the media, but I don't think he's that type of guy. But to be honest, if you were a Juve watcher or whatever, and you had links with the club, they're all gone right now. It's Giuntoli, and that's it. And Giuntoli's guys, if you're a journalist and you're connected to Giuntoli's guys, they're not at the club yet. They're not officially at the club, so they cannot be in the known of certain things. So maybe the media is completely not in the known, and maybe the Mota done deal is not really true. Maybe Coal Miners is not at all a first target. All these things could be true. Maybe even Calafiori is not the main target. Who knows? All these things can be true. But the Felipe Anderson thing was so strange from the beginning to the end. When we got linked to him, I was like, and I always liked Felipe Anderson. I've said it on this channel. I always have been a fan of Felipe Anderson. And I was like, we've been linked with him, but let's wait. Let's wait until the end of the summer, because I need to see what the idea is. Is he going to be the main guy? Who are we going to sell? What is the formation going to be? Is he the squad player who can play on both sides? What is going to happen with Chiesa, Yildiz, and Sule? So many questions. Those questions you can throw away right now. I don't think that changes the future of Sule, by the way. I don't think that. However, for the club, and again, Pedula said for 15 days now they had no conversations, and Juve was not really not jumping to sign Felipe Anderson, because they had a feeling he wasn't really was willing to commit to the cost. That could be true. That can be completely fake. It looks more true than, oh, he's signing, and then 2 hours later, oh no, he's going to Brazil. That sounds faker than Pedula saying, actually, for 2 weeks, Juve had a feeling that it's not really 100% ready, and the club was like, yeah, we'll back down from this. That makes more sense than Romeo saying it's kind of done, and Fabrizio Romano saying kind of done, and 2 years later, it's completely off the table. However, the club, I think, is very disappointed with that, because we need help and we don't have a big budget. We're going to sell players, and we're going to sell players as well to make plus Valenza, but that doesn't mean that all that money is going to get invested in the transfer window. We're getting Champions League doesn't mean that money is going into the transfer window. The club, well, it doesn't work like that. We know that, people. It doesn't work like that. So I think the club is looking at it, knowing that they needed to make free agent signings, and they're probably looking at it and they're like, man, this one is off the board. And now we need to go again, because we need free agents, and the plan was probably move on Sule and get a free agent, or something like that. And now the club is sitting there and they're like, we need to spend money. We need to spend money on that position we probably didn't want to spend money on because we wanted to spend money on a defender or a midfielder or a fullback. I don't know. That's the feeling I have. So you can be happy that it's not Felipe Anderson, and I fully understand why people do not want Felipe Anderson at the team in the team at all. But it's also a concern a little bit because now the clubs need to go out there and find new solutions, and the solutions could be worse, or the solution can be we need to spend money, but that means we cannot spend money in that area or in that department which we needed to spend money. So it's good for some, but it's also bad news. And even if you were all in for Felipe Anderson, it's still bad news because we need free agents. We are gonna need free agents, and who's out there? I don't know. I don't have any idea who's out there. Like, it's not really my job to identify. We will talk about it when it gets closer, obviously. But as of now, that was one of the targets for the club, no matter who the coach was, apparently. And it's off the board now. And now you need to sit back and rethink what you're going to do. And that is probably not what Giuntoli had planned, what he had in mind. So it's a weird one, but that also means that the window that's coming up is going to be crazy. It's going to be insane. Like I said, we will come on many times and be confused, happy, disappointed, angry. It's going to be a roller coaster because even with McKennie right now, the feeling is that it's going down. We're going to sell you. It's going to that road. Even with Rabiot, it's going down to on a road where the club is like, we're not going to pay you $7.5 million. We're not doing that. And you can leave as well. So a lot of changes are to be expected. As of now, everything, you need to be open-minded going into the transfer window because anything can happen. Even selling even selling Vlahovic, if the offer comes in for the money, the club needs to redo their finances. We know that. Everything is on the table. Nobody is untouchable. I think the only player that's 100% untouchable is Yildiz. Other than that, the club will listen to any single offer, in my opinion. In my opinion. And that doesn't mean the club is going to accept every single offer. It doesn't mean if somebody offers 30 million for the Cambiasso, the club is going to take Cambiasso. I'm not saying that. But they will think about any offer beside, in my opinion, for Yildiz. And I'm talking realistic offers, not 80 million for Yildiz because the club will sell it in a heartbeat. But if a realistic offer comes in for any of these players, the club will sit down and listen and look at the possibilities, what they can do, how they could potentially replace them, and then make their decision. That's the situation the club is in, and that's why I think it's going to be a crazy summer, paired to the fact that these journalists prove that they can be completely in the unknown, like literally insane. Like, this was next level. This was actually next level because it's 2 hours between it's getting close final details to it's done, and it doesn't change in 2 hours. These journalists can come out and say, oh, he decided within 2 hours. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry, I don't buy that, especially not at this moment in time of the season. I don't think that, because you can take a lot of time being Anderson to make that decision from now until the end of the season. The fact that he announced it now tells me that Pedula's news is more fruitful, that it's been in the making for a couple of weeks now, and Juve were aware of that, and kind of moved on. So that's a weird story, but like I said, it's Giuntoli. Maybe people are in the unknown, and maybe it's good. Maybe it's good that we don't need to hear like the Zaniolo links are back. Do you want to believe that's sad news, or do you want to believe that Giuntoli's not going to make those type of signings? That's the summer we are having. But let me know in the comments, because I know a lot of people are like, Felipe Anderson, that's good that we didn't get him. So let me know, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Ciao.